Some businesses succeed, some don't. Then there are those that seem to have been around forever. The true entrepreneurial success story. How did they do it? What was their vision? What makes a success? In this special episode for Eye on Annapolis, we speak with the true success stories, those business owners that have been around for decades, learn from their successes and failures. Now, here's host John Fernay.
We're here in my favorite part of town in West Annapolis. I would say it's a sleepy village, but it's waking up, I think.
I hope so.
We're here with Skye Vasquez, who is the owner of Art Things, which is everybody's favorite art shop in Annapolis. And it might even be the only art shop in Annapolis, I think. Is that correct?
I think so, too.
But if you were coming up Taylor Avenue, which turns into something else probably when it hits growls and dead ends, you're probably looking into her front window. Plenty of free parking in the rear of the place. If you are an artist, if you want to be an artist, if you are any type of creative, this is a place that you need to be. But thank you for joining us. And
thanks for having us.
Tell us a little bit about Art Things. Where did it all start?
Art Things actually opened 53 years ago in this exact building.
That's almost older than me.
Yeah, there you go.
Almost.
So slightly older than me. And it actually opened in October of 1966. At the time, Maryland Hall wasn't doing classes yet, and there was very few art supplies. So Lydia opened it, and she opened it because she wanted to sell what she couldn't find in town. So she ran it, and then she sold it to her daughter, Laurie Nolan, who ran it for about 40 years, and I just bought it a year ago. So it's always been a woman-owned business.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
This is probably one of the very first women-owned businesses in Annapolis, I would imagine.
Probably in that time period, just about.
And Maryland Hall certainly wasn't Maryland Hall back in 66 either. That was Annapolis High School.
That's exactly right. So they did classes down here. Art Things has really changed throughout the years with what they've done, but they started off doing classes down here. And one of the managers here, Kim, has been here for 43 years, and she was actually hired to teach the classes downstairs because Maryland Hall didn't exist yet.
That sort of says something about the business and about how well people love it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So she's still here, and we have Sue, who's been here for 10 years. We have a couple other girls that have been here for a while, too.
So you're like the new kid on the block.
I am. They're teaching me.
Well, you said you purchased the business in about a year ago.
November 1st.
Ooh, look at that. It is almost a year ago.
That's
Congratulations.
Exactly right. Thank you.
What possessed you to do this?
So my grandmother, Carol Yeomans, worked at Colonial Players, volunteered at Colonial Players for years and years and years, and I came in here with her all the time. I painted sets many summers over at Colonial Players while she directed. She was on the board of directors for a while, and so I had been working in healthcare for many years and was getting burned out about it, and my grandmother called me and said, "Do you know that Laurie's selling Art Things she's been looking for a while might end up closing down because she can't find a buyer." So,
that would have been sad.
I know. So I showed up and was like, "Laurie, pick me. Can I have it?" So I sat down with her and we really talked about the ideas and what she saw, and you know what I mean. And she knew it needed some updating. When I bought it, they hadn't had a computer in here ever. Nothing's computerized. They sort of inherited 53 years of scrap pieces of paper. Yes. So as that not being my generation, I kind of was like, oh my goodness. So we've been working at computerizing things and getting things a little more updated. But it was just lovely. I mean, I came to her and said, here's my ideas, and she agreed. And so bought it November 1st of last year.
You know, I find that some of the best business, and there have been a couple that I've spoken with where it's been somebody that had been a patron of the business, that had really loved the business and came back in and did it. And that's really a good thing because, I mean, obviously there is some sort of a passion that's in there for you. It's not just somebody looking to buy a business, to own a business.
That's right. I was very interested in keeping it open. It is a struggle in the age of Amazon to keep something like this open, but I think that there are people that want to buy local. They want to support a local business, and I wanted to make sure the local business got to stay.
I don't know why anybody would not want to. I mean, you know, honestly, I like to fondle the things before I buy them.
Yes, that's exactly right. I don't know how people can buy paint without looking at it first. I mean, you have to know what it looks like. But.
Yeah, I mean, and there are certain commodities I think that the online really, lends itself to. But I certainly think that if you're looking at paint, if you're looking at, different canvases, and I'm not an artist, so I don't know what all is involved. But I mean, if you're looking at different hues and colors And, I mean, just even something as simple. Before we started, I was looking at your inventory of pens, and I was amazed that there was like a 0.3. And I pulled out the sample. I said, how thin is a 0.3? I'm like, that's too damn thin for me. But that's,
that's exactly right.
But, it's like that means nothing to me online.
Exactly right. And the real benefit, I think, to Art Things over anywhere else is that the women who work here live and breathe art. They can talk to you about anything. Why would you want a .03 pen versus a .3 versus anything else? What is waterproof? What's going to stick? I mean, just years and years of art education just in this building. So if you have a question, if you want to know how to create something, it's not like going into a box store or Amazon and not knowing what you're getting. They're going to be able to tell you what's your project, how you want to get it done.
Well, and again, that's what it's all about. I mean, you've got local people that own it, local people that work it, and it's what makes Main Street go.
That's exactly
even though
right.
we're on Annapolis Street, but that's
we're the Main Street of West Annapolis.
There we go. There's a stretch.
That was a big one.
So what else does Art Things do? You obviously are a retail store up front. I didn't even realize that you had this down here. You've got a big. Are you still doing classes?
We do. We do classes down here. They're going to unroll. Hired a very lovely lady who's going to do camps after school, camps for kids down here. Our goal is to make some that are a little bit cheaper, a little more accessible for people because our goal is just sort of the community. We do some art brunches. We have one coming up. Actually, an artist is going to sell some of her handmade art upstairs, and they'll do some mimosas and some snacks and have people in, and that's the idea is how do we support arts?
Always a solid marketing plan. Get them drunk and get them buying.
Absolutely. Get them buying some
Get them buying. That works
right.
all the time.
That's exactly right. It works for me anyway.
So you're going to have classes. You're going to have summer camps or all year camps? Or
all year camps. They're going to do after school camps weekly. Something like 3:30 to 6:30 Monday through Friday for kids to come in and get their hands in the art and make a mess and use some of the art supplies. So
that's the best way to get into art. Now, you said you were in healthcare before you jumped into entrepreneurship, which is a word I don't like, but that's whatever.
Yeah.
Now, what made you jump? I mean, do you have an art background other than coming to an art camp or coming to...
My grandmother and I painted and did art for a really long time, and my daughter is excellent at art. And so that was really where it comes in. I'm a dabbler. My daughter's very good. My grandmother oil painted up until the day she passed away. I mean, she was just an amazing artist. Some of her art's upstairs actually on the walls. So
I will check that out on my way out.
Yeah, so a lot of it is in honor of my grandmother, and it made me excited to be able to work for myself and sort of get out of the healthcare industry. Everything is quite literally life and death. So it was nice to step out and to find something where people were creating things instead of...
I find for the most part retail, or any customer, where somebody voluntarily comes into you is usually a very good... It's a happy type of thing. I mean, it's not that they are without stresses or anything like that. I mean, obviously, you know that, and
yes.
You will continue to know that as you move on. I think it's wonderful because you've got the passion for it. I think it's great that you've sort of given a nod to your grandmother with continuing this here. What has changed since you've taken over?
Mostly the computerization. We're going to roll out online store soon so that people can actually buy online and we can either ship or they can just pick up so that it's a little bit of a faster process. We've been changing the inventory around. We've been constantly under construction to get stuff in. We actually have a lot of our customers come in and go, oh, it's so empty in here, but it's the same amount of stuff. We've just gotten rid of some of the clutter because I'm not a clutter person, so I've been trying to get rid of
I remember the last time I was in here, there was a big stand with, and what is the Japanese anime? And it's not anime, but it's
the manga stuff.
Yes.
Yep.
There was a big carousel type thing right as you walked in the front door, and I noticed today that it was not there, and it was
dispersed throughout. We're trying to make sections a little easier, trying to make stuff that people can find more accessible. We actually carry a couple new lines of paint that we try ourselves. We have a program where people can apply to be a product tester because sometimes we want to know if a line of paint is any good. And
that's good. You don't test on animals.
Coming in, that's exactly right.
You test on humans.
That's right. We're tested on humans instead. Paint their faces and see how it goes. No, and let us know whether or not they think it's something we should carry. So they get a free sample and a fun thing to tell us whether or not they think it's worth keeping.
What type of art? Art is a pretty broad-reaching term.
That is very true.
You're not selling cellos and oboes.
Nope. Visual arts.
So, what as an artist, what can I buy here? Wayne, what's your product line?
So we do such a wide range, it's hard to say, but we sell everything from clay tools and knickknacks to oil paints and water paints and pastels and pen and ink and every kind of paper. I mean, we have like 50 different types of paper that you can buy. Paper was a whole rabbit hole I didn't know anything about until I started working here, and then I realized how much you can learn about paper. But yeah, I mean, anything and everything that you want to do, we're here to help you do it. So
it's on paper or canvas? Would that be fair?
Paper.
And then some tools for some other stuff.
Absolutely. So we try to carry as much as people want from us. I mean, we're not as big, and so I think the main difference, I always say, and not in a bad way at all, but there's a lot of stores that are craft stores, but we're an art store. So we have higher quality things, we have nice stuff, we have the educational process. It doesn't mean that we're any more expensive, but it's just we don't sell plastic pumpkins and fake flowers. But if you want to paint,
wait a minute! I saw the silly corner up there. Okay, and there was a cat pumpkin head.
There was a cat. That's true. You can match your cat. That was my daughter's choice.
That I was looking at, saying, "Man, my cat would hate me."
Oh my! I know my daughter's very excited about torturing our cats with a matching costume with pumpkin heads for sure. So we do have silly stuff and we have fun stuff, but we do try to make sure even our department of silly is something edifying about it. So.
Well, it is a fun store. It is a very colorful store. You are in a great section of town, and I mean, I know as I was walking up the driveway to come around, I mean, you're right across the street from a framer. So once you create your art, you've got a frame shop that can take care of that for you.
Yep, the frame shop is lovely. There's a quilting shop over there, and the lady right next to us does consignment clothes. So we sort of have a whole little block of fun stuff.
I'll tell you, that's Stella next door.
Yes,
which is she's a trip.
I love Stella so much. Nobody else I would want to share a building with, so she's lovely.
What's on the future for here?
Mostly just working on classes, working on making sure that we keep the stuff up. We've been trying to do some outreach programs into the schools. I mean, really, my goal is to get the next generation into art things. I mean, I know here, but I'm always surprised how many people my age and even a little younger go, where is that? They don't even know we're here, and we've been here for 53 years. So it's outreach. It's making sure that people know we're here.
That's crazy and an admirable goal for sure. Because I know that as I've talked to people at Maryland Hall and actually in some of the public housing communities and whatnot, I mean, they're really making a concentrated effort to do this outreach in the arts community. And I think Annapolis as a whole in the last couple of years has really kicked up the whole arts recognition thing quite a bit. You've got the Art and Public Places Commission, which is doing some wonderful things. We've got a new statue in the middle of West Street.
I know, I love it.
Look at what Maryland Hall has done. Certainly Jeff Huntington and all the murals that he's painted throughout and I know there's one on the side of your building. And I don't know whether it's a Jeff mural.
It's a Brazilian artist that actually we had commissioned to come here and paint that from Brazil.
Okay, that was Roberta's group that did a bunch over in the design district. I guess
yes,
there was.
That's exactly right. No, we've had great support when I purchased it within the arts community. Jimmy Davies with Upstart did an article about us that helped a lot, just to let people know we're still here. So we've had a lot of nice support and nice people come in. So.
Now, Skye, what kind of name is that? Is that
There's a tiny little island off of Scotland called the Isle of Skye.
Okay.
And so my mom's name is Heather, and so she wanted to give me a nice Scots name too.
There you go.
So
okay, I was just curious. Now, are you local from here?
Yep, I was born when the hospital was still downtown. So,
okay.
And born in downtown Annapolis.
And you and your husband together own this, or?
So this is just, I bought it, but certainly with much of his support. But it was my baby. I kind of said, honey, I'm buying an art store. And he said, you're doing what?
Does he have a key?
So, of course, he has a key. He's very helpful. Because I homeschool my daughter, we went on a trip to Europe this year, and he ran the store while I was gone. And
it didn't burn down?
And it didn't burn down.
Okay.
So we
men are capable.
Absolutely. Very capable. And but he opened Tara, which is a smoothie shop downtown. And so that's been his baby.
That's right, at Prince George's and Randall Street.
It's exactly right. So they do smoothies down there and the acai bowls, and they're very delicious. So
they are. It's not the crappy unhealthy smoothies. This is the real healthy stuff. And I will say that they have probably one of the best. And I don't know why they call it a patio, but it's a backyard more like.
Patio backyard. I know. I love sitting out there. They do mimosas sometimes. If you call ahead and reserve a table, they'll do mimosas. And so
good to know.
I have sat there many a Sunday morning and contributed by having a mimosa. So
if you are into art, if you are interested in getting into art, if you are not even interested in any of that and just want to come and visit a fun shop, actually visit a bunch of fun stores, come over to West Annapolis. Annapolis Street is the main drag in West Annapolis. surprisingly, unlike other parts of town, parking is never really an issue here, unless they've got the Clydesdales coming down and some kind of a festival or something like that.
That's right.
And you guys are really, and I say you guys meaning the whole village of West Annapolis has really stepped up. You've got, the different festivals that are coming. I know you've got a winter festival, and I'm probably butchering the name on it, but you had the Oktoberfest. Yep. You had the Clydesdale certainly come in for the Military Bowl.
Yep, and we're doing that. Yep, the Christmas festival. I'm actually on the board for the West Annapolis Business Affiliation, and but Diana Love is working really hard. She was hired by the board to help us with some of that stuff, and the amount of work that she's done bringing festivals and bringing fun stuff. And I mean, our Oktoberfest is actually our 29th year doing the Oktoberfest on this street. So
it was off the charts this year.
It's been a lot of work, but everybody, West Annapolis really is trying to band together and be here and bring the fun festivals. And the European Christmas market is going to be amazing. It's going to be 2 weekends in a row, and they've got a ton of vendors. They're going to have drinks. They're going to have fun stuff set up. I mean, it's going to be a really good time.
Well, and I will say about 10 years ago, West Annapolis had one restaurant. Mm-hmm. Pretty much that was Regina's.
Yep.
I think there was always a coffee shop or a deli at the very end, and that was kind of about it. And then there was a British shop. There was just really not a whole lot of reason to come here.
That's absolutely true.
There is an awful lot of reason now.
There is. Everybody's so lovely here, and there's a lot of businesses that have been here for a long time. I mean, so.
Well, they are. I mean, across the street, you've got Annapolis Formal Wear that's been there for quite a long time. I remember when Pris's Paper Parlor was upstairs over.
Yep. That's right. There used to be a bead shop here too. That was lovely. So we were sad they left.
It has evolved. It's growing. It's such a vibrant community right now, and it's places like Art Things! !
We're just Art Things.
Okay, just Art Things. I didn't know whether it was an exclamation point.
I mean, I mentally, yes. I always exclamation mark it because it's exciting, but not officially.
Art Things is the anchor at the one end of Annapolis Street. And I do encourage everybody to come here. If you turn onto Annapolis Street, you can park right behind, go visit Skye. You can visit Stella next door. Stroll Annapolis Street, get a bite to eat at some of the great places to eat. See what they have to offer. If you haven't been here in a long time, I think you're going to be a lot surprised with what it has to do.
It is. We've got beautiful stuff. The parklets are out too. You can sit sit outside and eat food, and they've been really busy. Cal Ripken was actually sitting on one of the parklets today.
I saw him.
Yeah.
I saw him as I was coming down. And for those that are unfamiliar with the parklet, that's the sidewalk formerly known as a bike lane.
That's exactly right. So we repurposed. No waste here. So we repurposed them, made them little parklets, and they've been really popular, actually. We've had a lot of people sitting out there.
They did. I looked outside of Evelyn's, and that was very full, and I think that the city did it right. They turned around and they said, well, let's give this a try. This is a temporary type of a thing. See if it works. It did work, and now they can possibly look at working on a budget to make something a little bit more permanent.
I hope so. They've been a nice asset. I like sitting on them too, so we go to Evelyn's. And
Skye Vasquez, thank you very much. People, come into Art Things! 2 Annapolis Street in West Annapolis, and you can visit them online. You want to go to artthingsInc.com, and that's INC, although it would be very punny if you put a K there because it would work.
I should do it.
You should probably buy it and just redirect it.
That's exactly right.
What you should do. But artthingsInc.com is the website to find out a little bit more about the store, but I don't recommend you do that just yet. Come in and browse. It's the best way to figure out anything that you like. Fondle them, feel them, sample the thing. Find out how thin a 0.3 pen is. It's very thin. It's barely noticeable when you write on a...
That's right.
And when you're downtown, you want to make sure you get a smoothie and a mimosa in the thing of... it's Taro Smoothie Bar?
That's it.
Taro?
Taro. It's a root from Asia. Okay. It's got a lot of protein in it. So.
And then again, that's on the corner of Prince George's and Randall Street, right? A couple doors down from the Big Cheese and Middleton's and all of that.
Absolutely.
I was trying to think what it was before. It was the 1010 ramen and the coffee kettle.
I always know it from the Moon. That was many years ago, but it was a cafe called the Moon.
That would have been Mayor Buckley's restaurant.
That's exactly right. It was delicious.
Skye Vasquez, thank you very much. And congratulations on your 1-year anniversary, and here's to very many more.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening to this special podcast for Annapolis. Please be sure to visit Annapolis.net for all your local news, events, and opinions. And in case you haven't already, please subscribe to the Annapolis Daily News Brief, where we bring you your local news direct to your phone or tablet every Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. Subscribe on iTunes or Google Play.